Jellyfish and sea jellies are the informal common names given to the medusaceae of certain gelatinous members of the subphylum Medusozoa, a major part of the phylum Cnidaria. Jellyfish are mainly free-swimming marine animals with umbrella-shaped bells and trailing tentacles, although a few are anchored to the seabed by stalk rather than being mobile. The bell can pulsate to provide propulsion for highly efficient locomotion. The tentacles are armed with stinging cells and may be used to capture prey and defend against predators. Jellyfish have a complex life cycle. The medusa is normally the sexual phase, which produces planula larvae that disperse widely and enter a sedentary polyp phase before reaching sexual maturity. Jellyfish are found all over the world, from surface waters to the deep sea. Scyphozoans, the true jellyfish, are exclusively marine, but some hydrozoans with a similar appearance live in freshwater. Large, often colorful, jellyfish are common in coastal zones worldwide. The medusae of most species are fast-growing, and mature within a few months then die soon after breeding, but the polyp stage, attached to the seabed, may be much more long-lived. Jellyfish have been in existence for at least 500 million years, and possibly 700 million years or more, making them the oldest multi-organ animal group. Jellyfish are eaten by humans in certain cultures. They are considered a delicacy in some Asian countries, where species in the Rhizostomae order are pressed and salted to remove excess water. Australian researchers have described them as a perfect food, sustainable, and protein-rich but relatively low in food energy. They are also used in research, where the green fluorescent protein used by some species to cause bioluminescence has been adapted as a fluorescent marker for genes inserted into other cells or organisms. The stinging cells used by jellyfish to subdue their prey can injure humans. Thousands of swimmers worldwide are stung every year, with effects ranging from mild discomfort to serious injury or even death. When conditions are favorable, jellyfish can form vast swarms, which can be responsible for damage to fishing gear by filling fishing nets, and some teams clog the cooling systems of power and desalination plants which draw their water from the sea. The name jellyfish, in use since 1796, has traditionally been applied to medusae and all similar animals including the term jellies tinafores, another phylum. The term jellies or sea jellies is more recent, having been introduced by public aquaria in an effort to avoid use of the word fish, with its modern connotation of an animal with a backbone, though shellfish, cuttlefish and starfish are not vertebrates either. In scientific literature, jelly and jellyfish have been used interchangeably. Many sources refer to only scyphozoans as true jellyfish.
The subphylum Medusozoa includes all cnidarians with a medusa stage in their life cycle. The basic cycle is egg, planula larva, polyp, medusa, with the medusa being the sexual stage. The polyp stage is sometimes secondarily lost. The subphylum include the major taxa, Scyphozoa, large jellyfish, Cubozoa, box jellyfish, and Hydrozoa, small jellyfish, and excludes Anthozoa, corals and sea anemones. This suggests that the medusa form evolved after the polyps. Medusozoans have tetramerous symmetry, with parts in fours or multiples of four. The four major classes of Medusozoan Cnidaria are: Scyphozoa are sometimes called true jellyfish, though they are no more truly jellyfish than the others listed here. They have tetraradial symmetry. Most have tentacles around the outer margin of the bowl-shaped bell, and long, oral arms around the mouth in the center of the subumbrella. Cubozoa, box jellyfish, have a rounded box-shaped bell, and their velarium assists them to swim more quickly. Box jellyfish may be related more closely to Scyphozoan jellyfish than either are to the Hydrozoa. Hydrozoa medusae also have tetraradial symmetry, nearly always have a velum diaphragm used in swimming attached just inside the bell margin, do not have oral arms, but a much smaller central stalk-like structure, the manubrium, with terminal mouth opening, and are distinguished by the absence of cells in the mesoglea. Hydrozoa show great diversity of lifestyle. Some species maintain the polyp form for their entire life and do not form medusae at all, such as Hydra, which is hence not considered a jellyfish, and a few are entirely medusal and have no polyp form. Staurozoa, stalked jellyfish, are characterized by a medusa form that is generally sessile, oriented upside down and with a stalk emerging from the apex of the calyx bell, which attaches to the substrate. At least some Staurozoa also have a polyp form that alternates with the medusoid portion of the life cycle. Until recently, Staurozoa were classified within the Scyphozoa. There are over 200 species of Scyphozoa, about 50 species of Staurozoa, about 20 species of Cubozoa, and the Hydrozoa includes about 1,500 species that produce medusae, but many more species that do not. Experimental evidence for photosensitivity and photoreception in Cnidarians antecedes the mid-1900s, and a rich body of research has since covered evolution of visual systems in jellyfish. Jellyfish visual systems range from simple photoreceptive cells to complex image-forming eyes. More ancestral visual systems incorporate extraocular vision, vision without eyes, that encompass numerous receptors dedicated to single-function behaviors. More derived visual systems comprise perception that is capable of multiple task-guided behaviors. Although they lack a true brain, Cnidarian jellyfish have a ring nervous system that plays a significant role in motor and sensory activity. This net of nerves is responsible for muscle contraction and movement, and culminates the emergence of photosensitive structures. Across Cnidaria, there is large variation in the systems that underlie photosensitivity. Photosensitive structures range from non-specialized groups of cells, to more conventional eyes similar to those of vertebrates. The general evolutionary steps to develop complex vision include, from more ancestral to more derived states, non-directional photoreception, directional photoreception, low-resolution vision, and high-resolution vision. Increased habitat and task complexity has favored the high-resolution visual systems common in derived Cnidarians such as box jellyfish. Basal visual systems observed in various Cnidarians exhibit photosensitivity representative of a single task or behavior. Extraocular photoreception, a form of non-directional photoreception, is the most basic form of light sensitivity and guides a variety of behaviors among Cnidarians. It can function to regulate circadian rhythm, as seen in eyeless hydrozoans, and other light-guided behaviors responsive to the intensity and spectrum of light. Extraocular photoreception can function additionally in positive phototaxis in planular larvae of hydrozoans, as well as in avoiding harmful amounts of UV radiation via negative phototaxis. Directional photoreception, the ability to perceive direction of incoming light, allows for more complex phototactic responses to light, and likely evolved by means of membrane stacking. The resulting behavioral responses can range from guided spawning events timed by moonlight to shadow responses for potential predator avoidance. Light-guided behaviors are observed in numerous Scyphozoans, including the common moon jelly, Aurelia aurita, which migrates in response to changes in ambient light and solar position even though they lack proper eyes. The low-resolution visual system of box jellyfish is more derived than directional photoreception, and thus box jellyfish vision represents the most basic form of true vision in which multiple directional photoreceptors combine to create the first imaging and spatial resolution. This is different from the high-resolution vision that is observed in camera or compound eyes of vertebrates and cephalopods that rely on focusing optics. Critically, the visual systems of box jellyfish are responsible for guiding multiple tasks or behaviors, in contrast to less derived visual systems in other jellyfish that guide single behavioral functions. These behaviors include phototaxis based on sunlight positive or shadows negative, obstacle avoidance, and control of swim pulse rate. Box jellyfish possess proper eyes, similar to vertebrates, that allow them to inhabit environments that lesser derived medusae cannot. In fact, they are considered the only class in the clade Medusozoa that have behaviors necessitating spatial resolution and genuine vision. However, the lens in their eyes are more functionally similar to cup eyes exhibited in low-resolution organisms, and have very little to no focusing capability. The lack of the ability to focus is due to the focal length exceeding the distance to the retina, thus generating unfocused images and limiting spatial resolution.